Have you ever stopped to think how some of the flattest lands on our planet were actually created by the tallest mountains? It's a fascinating thought. Today, we're going to explore the incredible story of the Great Northern Plains of India, a huge, fertile land that is, quite literally, a gift from the mighty Himalayas. So, our story, it actually begins way up here, high in the Himalayas. These beautiful, snow-covered peaks are so much more than just a stunning view. They are the source, the very parent of the vast plains that lie at their feet. For millions of years, they've been patiently building this land, piece by piece. Let's find out how.
It sounds like a bit of a puzzle, doesn't it? I mean, how can the world's highest, most rugged mountain range create such a flat, fertile plain? Well, let's dive in and uncover the secrets behind this amazing geological wonder.
To really understand how these plains came to be, we need to go back in time, right back to the very beginning of their story.
You know, when you look at the Earth's long history, the northern plains are actually quite young. While the old rocky plateau to the south has been around for ages, these plains are a much more recent addition. Their secret? It's a slow, patient process of building, layer by layer, with a special material called alluvium.
So, what is this alluvium, exactly? Well, it's all the fine stuff, the soil, the silt, and the sand that rivers carry down from the mountains. You can think of it as the building material for the plains, laid down so patiently, layer after layer, over millions and millions of years.
Okay, so if alluvium is the building material, who were the builders? Let's meet the three master architects of this incredible landscape.
It was really a team effort by three great river systems. We have the Indus in the west, the Ganga right in the middle, and the Brahmaputra over in the east. These mighty rivers, along with their many tributaries, are both the creators and the lifeblood of this entire region.
And the scale of their work is just staggering. The plains stretch for about 2,400 kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the distance from Delhi all the way down to Chennai. And they cover an area of 7 lakh square kilometers. This is a truly vast expanse of land, all built by the patient work of these rivers.
So, how exactly do rivers build land? It's a fascinating process, and it all starts the moment a river leaves the mountains. That's when its whole personality changes.
See, up in the mountains, the slope is really steep, so the river flows with great speed and energy. Its main job here is erosion. It's busy cutting through rock and carrying all that material away. But the moment the river reaches the plains, the slope becomes gentle. It slows right down, loses its energy, and it just can't carry that heavy load anymore. So its job changes. It stops eroding and starts depositing. It just starts dropping all the material it was carrying.
This deposition creates some very unique and important features. One of the key ones is the doab. The word itself gives us a clue. Do means two, and ab means water. So it's the fertile piece of land that you find between two rivers, a perfect spot for agriculture.
Now, as the river slows down even more, getting closer to the sea, it drops a really heavy load of silt. Sometimes it deposits so much that it actually blocks its own path. This forces the water to split into lots of smaller channels just to find a way forward.
And these smaller channels have a special name. They're called distributaries. Now, don't confuse them with tributaries, which flow into a river. Distributaries flow out of it. It's a classic sign of a mature river flowing across a very flat plain.
And this power of deposition is so incredible, it can create actual islands right in the middle of a river. The most famous example, of course, is Majuli in Assam's Brahmaputra River. It's the largest inhabited river island in the entire world, a living proof of the land-building power of rivers.
Now, even though we call them the plains, the landscape isn't perfectly flat or uniform. There are subtle but very important differences. So let's take a little journey together, from the foothills of the mountains downwards, from north to south, and see how the land changes.
Our journey begins right at the foot of the mountains, in a narrow belt of pebbles called the Bobber. It's a curious place where smaller streams actually disappear, flowing underground. Then, as we move south, these streams pop up again in the Terai region, creating a wet, swampy, and marshy landscape. Continuing further south, we enter the Bangar. This is the largest part of the plains, made of older alluvium. And finally, we arrive at the Kedar, the active floodplains right next to the rivers, which get a fresh layer of new soil almost every single year.
The most important difference to remember is between Bangar and Kadar. An easy way to think about it is this. Bangar is the older, higher ground, almost like a terrace that sits above the river.
The Kadar, on the other hand, is the new, fresh soil on the floodplains renewed by floods every year. And because it's renewed annually, the Kadar soil is incredibly fertile, which makes it absolutely perfect for intensive farming.
Now, all this unique geography, this gift of fertile soil from the mountains, it didn't just shape the land, it shaped human history. It's the reason this landscape became a cradle of civilization.
So you have to ask yourself, why here? Out of all the places in the world, why did so many people for thousands of years choose to make their home on these plains?
Well, the answer is that the plains offered the perfect recipe for civilization. You had rich, alluvial soil, you had a constant supply of water from the rivers, you had a favorable climate for growing crops, and you had flat land that made it easy to build homes, cities, and transport networks. It was truly the complete package.
This is why the plains became known as the granaries of the country. They provided the food and the foundation upon which great cultures and mighty empires were built.
So there you have it, the full story. A journey that began with towering mountains and powerful rivers and resulted in a vast, vibrant, fertile land that would go on to become the very heart of a nation.
Just try to picture this for a moment. Imagine you're looking down on this region from space at night. You wouldn't just see a patch of land, you would see a sea of lights, a dense network of towns and cities, all pulsing with life. It's a powerful reminder of just how many millions of people this incredible land sustains.
And we end with this thought. This incredible, productive land was a gift from nature, created over millions of years. The question for us today is, how do we manage and sustain this precious resource to make sure that it continues to be the fertile heartland for many, many generations to come?